This is the Preble Town Board meeting of February 8th, 2021. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes of our regular January meeting?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Jane?
Dog control, 105 miles traveled through the town. One dog running at large, picked up unwanted. One dog euthanized and a dog adopted. Justice report, $10,166. Fees collected in January.
Thanks, Jane. Highway report, Jeff?
Yeah, you got a copy of the report. A few things going on. Want to bring you up to date on what I've been doing with the water issues on East Hill Road. We had county highway engineer looked at it along with Charlie. Soil and Water District took a look at it. Engineer from New York State DOT. And the general consensus is it looks like a spring to them, but it's hard to tell right now with the snow. Dave Orr from Cornell Local Roads is going to look at it Tuesday, but obviously we had a snowstorm. Working on a grant for the Curry Road culvert. Our advocacy efforts in Albany this year obviously going to go virtual. Any board member that'd like to send a letter to an assemblyman or senator in support of our efforts, let me know. I can get you a boilerplate cover. I talked about the last couple of months, the employer emergency plans that are required by April 1st. This time I've gotten a couple of draft plans. What I was going to do is put those together. If anybody wants to get involved with that, you're more than welcome, because it's just a matter of keeping our governor happy. I'll be happy to go over them with you. By April meeting, we got to have those approved, so it'll be next month's meeting.
Jeff, what's the purpose of those other than complying with the law? But I mean, what?
COVID shook a lot of things loose statewide, and it's to show that we have your essential people, your non-essential people. You show that you can have the proper PPE and everything for your staff, if you will. It's not just for COVID, it's for, you're supposed to try to think outside the box, anything coming down the road. But it was actually, I think I mentioned before, it signed on Labor Day last year. So, but yeah, it's just another exercise of paperwork, because who knows what the next thing's going to be. It's just notified last week by the county that Motorola is discontinuing the battery production in April. The same batteries that we use in our portable radios. I wouldn't think much of it, but the radios are $2,700 a copy. So we're looking right now for aftermarkets, something planned obsolescence is what it is. And the other thing is in the report last month, we converted number 4 to hub piloted. I'd like the board to declare the other parts to that truck as surplus, so I can get rid of them on an auction site. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Any questions for Jeff? Okay. Recreation. Recreation. County legislature. Kevin here?
Nothing at all.
He did. Okay. Jane?
Zoning and code, 1 building permit issued, 75 miles traveled, 20 building inspections, 41 hours worked, 2 fire inspections, 3 complaint follow-ups, 27 telephone inquiries, the planning board meeting is February 24th, CBA meeting March 4th.
Thank you, Jane. Historian. Not here. Jane?
We collected $239, dispersed 220 to the town of Preble, and 19 to New York State Aiken Marcus.
Under new business, we need someone, and I'm just asking the board to think of people that you might know, friends, family, acquaintances, neighbors, somebody who would like to be on the Board of Assessment Review. The Board of Assessment Review meets once a year in May, and they get together to review the assessment, property assessment for anybody who has a complaint on their property taxes, thinking that their assessment is too high. That group of people, I think we have 4 on there now, right, Jane? We need,
Yes.
we're looking for 5. So we're looking for a 5th member of that board, and they do get paid. I think they get paid $40 for the meeting for the day. And it's 1 day a year. Probably a retired person would be the best to do this. So if anybody knows anybody, please pass them on. You can see Jane, talk to Jane about it, and we're looking for one more person. Okay,
I would like to, on new business there, I'd like to bring up something about, I don't know if anybody's having any trouble with the plowing of the snow across the road. And I didn't, which is against New York State law. And I've had some complaints there, and I just wondered if we could put on a reminder on our website or something, just to remind people about it's Article 1219, and it's a finable offense to the guy that's plowing. They plow across this, take the snow out of the driveway and plow it right across the road onto somebody else. Or so I've had some complaints that way, and I see still people, are doing it. But
now
I didn't know if a reminder would.
I know sometimes Jeff mentions that in the newsletter, in the fall newsletter.
Yeah, and the Song Lake Association published it also in their letters,
Right.
But we have people that
People do it anyway.
don't do it. Yeah.
I mean, even if we put something on the website, are they the ones looking at the website to read that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
But I don't know what else we could do. I don't know. Just a reminder like that. I mean,
Yeah.
what else we can do?
Don, any suggestions?
Well, either put like send out notices to everyone to put in the mailboxes, or
Yeah, I did that and cured one.
did?
Yeah. It stopped one,
you
but
know,
it's a
I
lot
would
of
assume
other.
that's the section you mentioned was in 1219.
Yeah.
I assume that's of the vehicle and traffic law.
It's
Or is
a.
it the
I don't know if it's vehicle and traffic. It's anything that's any debris placed in the road is illegal, and snow plowing is one of them. You can't take it from one side to the other.
So, I mean, the ultimate remedy would be to have someone ticketed. But to do that, you'd have to call the sheriff, and you'd have to know who did it.
Yeah, you have to catch them at 4:00 in the morning.
And then you could call the sheriff and say, look, we got a problem here. Would you come up and,
Mhm.
maybe they come through and they stop a couple of people and say, hey, but realistically, that's probably the best you can do.
Okay, thanks,
Okay,
Jim.
I just thought I'd bring it up.
It's like speeders running through, right?
All
How
right.
do you enforce the speed limit?
Yeah.
You see them, but you can't write a ticket yourself. So.
Thanks for bringing that up, Jim.
Mhm.
Okay, monies received, Northeast Transformers, $1,771.89. USPS, $741.92. And fourth quarter sales tax was $122,151.13. Now, we'd like to open up to public comment or questions. Anybody who in the public who has anything to say it now.
I do.
Okay.
Seth Crawford, I was here last month. I'm here looking for some answers on my issue that I proposed in the last meeting? Is there anything that you?
Well, I haven't received any written reports from anybody. And Jeff he's handling that. He had mentioned earlier that there were people that looked at it, but I guess with the snow conditions, it's difficult to make any definitive statements yet. I don't know. I don't think Jeff has anything more to say. Do you? And I think you probably said it.
What we do in January with anything right now, to be honest, but suggestions?
Yeah, I'm looking for a written report from somebody, from a specialist that can tell me something that we can, that everybody has something in writing here that, by somebody who wrote it, who's competent, and then at least we can talk about it. But without a written report, I don't know what the board can do at this point.
I sought professional opinion myself, and professional finesse is not going to speculate on what's going on underground. So that brings me back to my point of that the highway department went in there, they disturbed the ground, and now I have a water issue. And I'm looking for an answer. I've got a written estimate in here from a local business owner that if I have to fix this problem, it's going to cost me around $3,000 on a problem that the town highway department created, in my opinion. And like I said last time I was here, as we speak, it's destroying my yard right now. It's enough water where how many feet of snow that we just got still didn't cover over and freeze over. It's still running. It's melted that snow. It never covered over. And it was never there before. It was mowable grass before. I realize it's wet there, but it wasn't this wet. And it's pretty ironic that the town went in there, did work, and now I've got water pumping out of the ground and saturating my yard and creating a trench through my yard. I don't know what, because there's snow on the ground, we wait. And I don't appreciate the way that this is being handled here. And my conversations with Jeff's are terrible. I was painted out to be a liar in the last board meeting. I brought my neighbor here to make a statement about what he observed. And I have a statement here from my other neighbor, which I'd like to read. And this is my neighbor's wife. Her name is Monica Williamson. She resides at 2400 East Hill Road, which is just above me. Said she returned home from work at 8:15 a.m. and witnessed two men with an excavator in my neighbor's driveway, which is the driveway that is the problem of all of this, which is in between my property and her property, their property. The whole property runs parallel with their driveway. The men took the equipment about 100 feet down the road, used the bucket to push soil back to make the ditch wider. That day they dug along the ditch alongside that road, pushed back brush about 40 feet from the road in the driveway. That is in between properties, like I just explained. The next day, men also came back with shovels, dug a few smaller trenches on the opposite side of the driveway, about 50 feet back from the road. Statement above is what I personally witnessed on both dates. Thank you for your time, Monica Wilson. She also provided a map with the locations and estimates, eyeballs of where the work was done. My property is located where you see the letter K on the map. Obviously, you don't have a copy of that. In the ditch closest to my house. On the left side of the measurement is where they used the equipment as well, pushed brush towards the road and cleared the area. The trench they dug by hand was about 45 feet from the road. It contradicts, she said 50 in the last statement, but close enough. So I got one neighbor saying that they witnessed it also. I was told last time that I wasn't told I was a liar, but that it was, my accusation was not true. This is my neighbor to the west of me. He's here to make a statement, like I said. Also to add to things, insult to injury, I found this business card in my mailbox in the meantime. I called the phone number, the first phone number, 607. I don't know if I should say that on here. Called the second phone number. There's two names on here. The second name on here is Charlie Reagan. And that is who answered the second phone number. And he answered, and I said, can I help you with something? And he said, I see you got a flooding problem on your property. And I said, yeah. And I said, well, who are you? He said, oh, I drive by there all the time. I work for the town of Preble. And I said, oh, really? I'm like, and he kind of interrupted me when I was about to tell him that I was in a dispute with the town about the issue. But he said, yeah, I could come up there and fix your problem for you. My boss told me about it. So basically his boss, which is Mr. Griswold, put him up to it. And I don't know if this is a game, if this is a poke at me. Is somebody that works for the town, is this a conflict of interest? I'm disgusted with this already. I have had to fight through all this stuff. I didn't create any of this. I'm sticking up for my own well-being of having to pay just at this estimate $3,000 if you handle the town's work up there. Then I get one of the town workers coming to me wanting to solicit, services to do work on my property and make money. What the hell is going on here? I don't understand. Like I said, I'm thoroughly disgusted. And still, first thing I asked for was some answers, and I'm not getting those. Here I am again. Most of my interactions with Jeff are really confrontational. He's a public official, as I see it. I'm a taxpayer. I've been talked down to. If you'd like a statement from, you could ask the engineer from Cortland County. In our conversations in there, I was pointed at and told that I shouldn't be opening up this can of worms or whatever he said. I just walked away. And I'm just the taxpayer. I'm just the person out there. I'm not the public person that's representing the town of Preble. I've worked for the New York State Department of Transportation for 13 years. And there's rules to follow when you're in a public position. And if I ever acted in any way, shape, or form like Mr. Griswold did, my job would be on the line. And I'm not here for Jeff's job. I'm here to get the dang water problem cured that they created on my property. It's going to cost me money. And time, nobody's got extra. I don't have extra money. I did the work in my yard to make it so I can mow my grass. And I've got to deal with this stuff. Do all this extra work, get my neighbors to come down here on their free time, get statements written they couldn't come down because they're working. So they wrote me a statement. And then this is a bit of a harassment, in my opinion, that one of the town workers is going to come to me to try to make some money off my problem. What should I do? You're the town board. Tell me what I should do. How should I do this?
Don, do you have any suggestion?
Well, what I've heard so far tonight from the town standpoint is that they're investigating this. Apparently, they've had a member of the Soil and Water Conservation District up there, they've had a member of the New York State DOT up there, and they've had a member of the County Highway Department up there looking at this situation, which tells me if that's true, that our representative, our highway superintendent, Jeff Griswold, is taking a serious view of this and having this looked at. And he indicates that David Orr from Cornell University is yet to come up and take a look at it. We all know how much snow is on the ground, which I would think would make it somewhat impossible to really determine the cause of this. That's the issue. In my view, the issue is what is the cause of this? I don't know you, I don't know your situation, I don't know your property. But I don't think any town can simply act on a complaint, and that may seem harsh from the taxpayer, the resident standpoint. I understand that. It's easy for me to sit here and say that. But on the other hand, the town board has an obligation to handle the town funds properly. And I think if they were to simply say, okay, we're gonna write a check for 3,000, whatever the number is, without having proof before them that this situation is caused by some action by our highway department or whatever, I think that would be improper for them at this juncture. And again, it's easy for me to say that. You're dealing with this situation. I think I understand that. You brought other statements. You spent time on this. It's upsetting to you. But that would be my take at this point, sir. And unfortunately, it's not the middle of June or July. It's the middle of February.
Yep.
And we just got nailed pretty good. So I don't
Sure.
know if the town, can make a determination under current weather and season conditions. I don't know that, but it may take, sir, a couple more months would be my guess, at least, before the town can make a clear determination. And I don't know what, that's my reaction, Jim.
Okay, thanks, Don. And the way that the town board can make a determination on this is by having some kind of professional reports in front of us that we can read. Apparently, right now, nobody wants to write anything up because of the seasonal conditions out there.
I talked to Trish at the county and she says, sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. That
She
was
didn't
her
want to put
biggest
anything in writing.
No.
Okay.
And her basis of being there was trying to help the town resolve the water issue that's going to the road,
Mm-hmm.
that was going to the road.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just saturating the area around there of my neighbor's property, which is creating the water issue. I spoke with my professionals and people that I know, and they said they can't, even if the snow wasn't there, because it's pumping out of the ground into my property. They didn't dig a direct trench from that property to my property, so there isn't flowing water to my property. Bingo, there it is. Yeah. But because they cut the driveway, the water spilling off, instead of going to the road, it's saturating the ground. And I'm directly downhill, gravity, at a lower level of land also, so it's pumping right out of the ground. We're directly above where they cut the driveway. And, and a lot of this is irresponsibility of the town. They should have never been in there. Should have never touched it. Like I said in the last meeting, does the town have the ability to approach a landowner and say, you're creating an issue for our road, which is what I think should have been done. And it's addressed through them. And if the landowner diverted water on my property, I would come here seeking help from you guys. How do I approach a landowner about diverting water on my property? But they didn't do it. The town highway department did. And that's where I stand. It's about 10 feet off of hitting my foundation. If it trenches out more in the following months of the winter, I'm going to have a real serious problem. But as it stands right now, it's going towards my driveway, across my lawn, towards my driveway, and into the ditch.
we would be interested in listening to your neighbor, if he wants to speak.
Yeah, I can. My name's Thomas Snyder. I live at 2382 East Hill Road, just west side of his house. And I recently retired, so I was home that day and I saw the Preble boys come up there and they were working on the ditch there. And I thought probably they were just gonna come down the road and dig out the ditches. And then I noticed they kept backing up South America Road. And I thought, well, I wonder what they're doing going up through there. And I'd have to say they had to go up at least a good 100 and some feet, because when I looked out my window on the east side of my house, I could see behind his house, which means they had to come up quite a ways doing their digging. And like I say, I am not a professional. I don't know anything about the spring water and stuff, but he showed me everything that was going on after that, and I was kind of like, wow, that just happened, and they were up there digging. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense. You disrupt the water, it's got to go somewhere, and it's coming onto his land. I was just surprised to see him backing up South America, digging the ditches out. That's all I got to say about it. I mean, it looked. I didn't think it was right.
Thanks for your input.
First, I thought they were just, because I know there's a problem on the edge right there with the water coming across the road, and I thought, good, they're going to dig it out and help it. But then they kept going back and back and back, and obviously disrupted the flow of water.
To put into
Okay.
perspective how bad and how much water was coming out of there, it was icing across the road and building in the end of the driveway, and they're up there messing with it constantly. And now there's just a little bit of water. So where's all that water going? It's not coming out of the cross pipe of the driveway. It's not going on in the road anymore.
No.
Where's it going? It's coming on my property.
Want to say something?
Okay.
Seth, I appreciate the predicament that we're all in with this, okay? The same operator that left the card in your mailbox is leaves me without words, to be very honest with you, that he would do that. And I want to apologize to you right now for that even being done, because that's tomorrow morning's not going to be a good day for somebody over there. I apologize. Okay. That didn't come from me. That's not how I operate. Secondly, same young operator, one-year employee of the town, was told to do certain thing there. He went further out that driveway than I wanted him to. Okay, that's the second thing. But as far as where do I go from here in February, I told you when we were up there, when Stacy was there, I says, I'd like to fix this for everybody. I think that it can be done. I think that, and she sent me some boilerplate, if you will, French drains, you modified French drain without a permeable bottom, basically, to gather that water and get it to the road ditch. So as far as, what I think we can do to make everything work, I think it's doable. Help keep the water out of the road, not against any of this. My problem is, same as right now, it's February. And to work with everybody and make this happen, it's just I don't know. I'm beyond words as far as what I could do in February to take care of that. There is, from where that spring is over in your lawn, there's a berm between there and the road ditch. It actually runs uphill, which pushes the water, kind of makes it want to go back over your house instead of come to the road ditch. That's under, I don't know, a couple foot of water now, or of snow right now anyways. But I mean, that water, just by the layout of the lawn, is trying to get, down down around the well and down toward his house. That water needs to come back toward the north to get to the road ditch. So as far as a solution in January, or in June, I think there's a lot of things that you can learn. As far as a solution in February, I don't know what to do. If anybody's got any ideas, I'm more than happy to listen, but as far as what Chuck did, that's inexcusable, and that'll be dealt with. So, my apologies.
Okay, I think we can all agree that there's nothing that we can do at this moment in time. But we are in the process of investigating this. Jeff is actively looking for a solution for this problem. And the board is very much aware of this. Any consultants that Jeff brings up there, it would be good to get something in writing that we can look at as a board. I think Jeff has some possible solutions for you. It sounds like that, from after listening to him, that maybe we can do something. But we have to wait for the snow to melt and see where that water is flowing. And maybe with the snow melt water runoff, we can see exactly where this water is moving. We can see exactly what we have to do. Now, we may not be able to do anything until after the ground dries out a little bit. You know, so, but I think we're all, looking at this as a problem that we want to solve.
I apologize for my impatience on it, but this is the first solution I've heard. Going on 2 months, okay, and I'm satisfied with what I'm hearing right now. And the day after the last meeting is when the county first came up, and that was the day after that meeting where I was given no solution, and I was told at this meeting that she was going to give me a solution, which I'm trying to apologize and explain my impatience with this. As I said again many times, that I see my property getting monetarily destroyed. It's going to cost me money, and I don't sit well with it. But I'm glad to hear that some solutions will be made, and we'll look forward to the spring, and when something can be actually done.
We'll keep this issue on the agenda in coming months, in March and in April, and we'll keep following this up, see what can be done about it.
Okay.
And we'd like to get input from professional people that can look at this site too.
Yeah, professionals that came up, worked with for years, 2 of them that I know well, very knowledgeable. But a professional can't speculate, like I said, what's going on underground. And off the record, they say, what do? You put everything back to the way it was, and then see if it's the same. I'm like, well, you basically have to divert the water back to the road for it to stop coming onto my property. There's a problem either way.
Okay, we'll continue with this in the coming months and move forward with it.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks for coming in. Anybody else? Public comments? Questions from anybody? Okay, we need to make a motion to pay the general fund vouchers.
I'll make a motion to pay the general voucher funds, abstract number 2, numbers 16 through 35, totaling $22,271.87.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Carried. We need a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers.
I'll make a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers, abstract number 2, numbers 8 to 19, totaling $7,000, $780.68.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. And at this time, the Preble Town Board needs to go into executive session in order to discuss a little litigation issue. And then the door will be open after we're done, and you can come back in if you wish to. But we have covered everything we're going to talk about next meeting.
Skip turned off. Was it off? Not yet.